Greetings, champions, and welcome to Live with Shatufa. We are giving you updates of what is happening in the nation as we continue to pray for the nation of Zimbabwe, knowing that the Lord we serve, our God, is watching over every activity, every movement that is happening in Zimbabwe. There is nothing that is happening in our nation that God is not aware of. As more and more pressure mounts on Emmerson Mnangagwa on his plans to illegally extend his term to 2030, we are seeing more resistance and more Zimbabweans coming out and speaking about this issue, and it has become really a national discussion. Focus on beating records, not on lengthening distances. Zivhu, Taunts, Mnangagwa, and the 2030s. So these are some of the statements that are coming from the people that are right inside ZANU-PF too, who are actually against what is happening. Many people in ZANU-PF are not in agreement with what Mnangagwa is doing. There's a lot of, in fact, 3/4 of the people in Zimbabwe who are ZANU-PF members are not in agreement with this idea. We only have a few people that are benefiting from this, and these are the people that are speaking like motor mouths, and they are insulting even the senior citizens, like Wana Comrade Geza are being insulted, who are war veterans who fought for the freedom of Zimbabwe, but they are being insulted by young boys, and this is really very sickening. It's unfortunate that our country has been allowed to disintegrate into some kind of zoo, and no longer a place of human beings, but a place of animals. So Killer Zivhu has actually come out and lambasted Mnangagwa in the 2030s and explaining and saying, why extend athletic tracks to 500 meters when you struggle to finish 400 meters on time? Focus on beating records, not lengthening distances. Hashtag athletics, hashtag focus on the goal. Exactly. There's nothing that can ever be, more truer than this. How do you expect people to support Emmerson Mnangagwa with all the failures that are attached to him? You are failing to finish 400 meters, but you want to extend the tracks to 500 meters. Instead of focusing on the goal, on the record of making sure that you beat the 400 meters first, Mnangagwa has failed in every aspect of failure in Zimbabwe. You can name any sector of government, it has crumbled. There is not even a single thing that is working. There's nothing that you can ever point at. And these are the people that want to tell us that they want to hold on to power. And you ask yourself, for the why? Why should Mnangagwa be remaining there when actually his record is so bad? I don't know whether the people that are making noises about him really are so blind to where Zimbabwe is today because of the mismanagement of Emmerson Mnangagwa, the arrogance, the disrespect of rule of law, the disrespect of the constitution, capturing the state organs and everything else is captured, wanting to make Zimbabwe a one-man band, like Mnangagwa is running Zimbabwe like his private tuck shop, where whatever he says goes. And there's no country that runs like that and succeeds. That's the unfortunate thing. We won't succeed. We won't get where we have to get as a country unless we start to put things into order, and some things must work as according to the book. Not that the book is useless, like what we are hearing, these corrupt war veterans like Douglas Mahia, who threaten that we can tear down that constitution as long as it is not saying what we want. How could you say that when there are Zimbabwean people that came together to write that constitution? You want to tear it without consulting them. When it was written to begin with, it had consultation of all Zimbabweans and other stakeholders. What does that mean? So it means that this is the attitude that these people have always had, of saying that we will do what we want, we never care what Zimbabwean people think or say. And that's why they failed. Because if you think that Zimbabwean people are not necessary, are not important in your running of the government, then you have lost it. Because it's the people that implement the policies. Whatever that you bring in, as long as the people of Zimbabwe don't support it, it will still crumble. No matter how good an idea you might bring as a government that is not in agreement with the people, nothing that you plan will ever come to work. So that is where it is. Focus on records. Focus on delivery. Don't talk about extension of terms. We have not even gone even a quarter way of that term that he has stolen. But they are already shouting for another term. And this is what shows that we are dealing with people that have refused to use their brains to think. So Zimbabwe, let's continue to stand and fight this. As united as we are, and the voice that is speaking nowadays of a united Zimbabwean people, I'm telling you, Mnangagwa will go down. Thank you so much for joining me on the show, and remain blessed.